What's up, chat? Welcome back to the stream. An on-time stream start. I will not hear otherwise. This was perfectly at the scheduled start time, and definitely not super late because I fell asleep. It's Monday. We are indulging in a little bit of mayhem, and obviously it's a big day because we had a new update. Obviously, new Militarum field manual, not that many rules updates, but a couple of rules updates. And so we're going to be covering a couple of these here events that used the new update. Now, we did have some large events, including the Windsor Super Major that occurred this weekend that did not use the new update. We will be parsing those tomorrow for some useful lists, especially for things that didn't change, didn't get huge changes in the Militarum field manual. But right now what we're going to be focusing on is the events that did use the new update. Wizard is never late, nor is he early. One of my favorite clips of all time to use whenever people accuse me of anything involving time. Early or late? No. Precisely what I mean to. Mr. Baggins. Yeah, so let's hop in. We'll start with the top stuff over here. Okay. There we go. Hopefully this isn't too zoomed in or zoomed out, I guess. But the first one we have is the Warp GT. This is United Kingdom GT, 30 players, use UKTC stuff. And most of the events that did use the new update were on the smaller side. They were between 20 and 40 probably. So, just normal GT size, not anything particularly big or exciting. But we did have a couple of interesting lists crop up over here. Now, I did cover this Necron list on my Best Armies in 40K. This is a Cursed Legion build, still using Catan shards, but if you want to know more about that, you can watch my video from this morning. However, we also saw some Space Marines continuing to do well, even with their new 85-point Combat Weapon Lieutenant. This sounds very zoomed out. I'm gonna fix. One moment, chat. Give me a sec. Let me redo this. I bet this was because we were looking at something else last week, and it messed up all my settings. My poor settings have been ruined. All right, I think that's better. Much better, chat. Superior. All right, cool. Let's do that. And now we can read the text. Let's go. However, this is interesting. We're running, so it is running kind of normal stuff. It's the Armor of Antonius Gravis Captain, plus a Combat Weapon Lieutenant, newly expensive Combat Weapon Lieutenant. It's actually used Marneus Calgar. Doubt emoji over here. Because Marneus Calgar is not currently in the Militarum field manual. His legality is continuous at best. So that's an interesting one. I'm not sure about that one. We'll see how that sticks around. People are like, well, he's in the app, but also they just removed sustained hits from the Tyranid Prime in the app. So who fucking knows what's up with the app? I don't believe, in my opinion, that the app should be taken as actual rules content. I think it's a good reference guide, but it tends to be wrong about things. When in doubt, PDFs are god. Because they make a lot of mistakes in the app. So it is, in my opinion, I don't believe Marneus Calgar should be legal until they either add him back to the Militarum field manual or confirm that he's not supposed to be in there, or just don't add him back in. It is what it is. But it's not what they did here, I guess. Gravgar is gone. He updated the app and he's no longer there. Oh, no. Josh Truren. What were you doing, my guy? Honestly, he probably talks to TO, and the TO was like, I don't know, he's in the app, so fuck it, we ball, which I guess is fair. But it does feel, to me, a little, I don't know. You're advocating, I guess, in your own favor. if you're like, well, this thing is like probably illegal, but like maybe if we take the app as the rules arbitrator and then maybe I could play Marneus Calgar. That'd be cool, right? Right. Which I don't necessarily agree with. I think that you should usually try to you should try to read the rules in a way that's worse for you, just so you don't get accused of taking advantage. But it is what it is. I don't think I'm gonna point fingers anywhere here. App also has red Corsair Reavers on a 40mm base and then lowered onto 32. Instructions are flipped. Instructions are deemed correct, not the app. Yeah, that's weird. Also, I didn't know that Corsair Reavers are 32s. That's actually wild. A lot of those 3-wound cast masonry stuff on 32mm bases like blows my mind. Because it feels like it should be heavy infantry. Like Victrix Honor Guard, right? They're on 40s. It feels weird every time I see a chosen unit. It's like 30 plus wounds, and it's just 10 little dudes. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I guess it's no worse than this unit right here. Those guys have a million wounds, and they're on like 28s or whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because chosen are kind of weird like that, right? Like chosen blow my mind. I always expect chosen to be on 40s, but I'm thinking of possessed typically, which is what it is. Anyway, this list is confirmed out of date, so we're gonna not even bother with it. We did have a couple of other more interesting builds pop up here. What I'm curious about, so we see a lot of Blood Angels doing fairly well. Now that I think there has been a shift to focus away from Ultramarines, people are playing other detachments, other factions. So there's going to be some like interesting play with Bastion Task Force probably, especially with the Crusader squads getting a little bit of points cut. That's kind of nice. But also Blood Angels. And what I'm interested in is to see if there's any play with that new Sanguinary Guard or the Sanguinary Priest interaction. So you can now join Sanguinary Priest to Blade Guard veteran squads, which for a while were hugely popular in Liberator Assault Group. I think they've been overshadowed by Sanguinary Guard because that was prior to the Sanguinary Guard buff, where they got really cheap and then they got extra weapon skill. So maybe it's not the same like meta anymore, but I do think that there is an interesting case to be made to play super hardcore Blade Guard veteran bricks in either a lag or Rage Cursed Onslaught. The nice thing about Rage Cursed Onslaught is that they're one of the few units that can attach a lieutenant, so we could fall back in charge. So far, it doesn't seem like many Blood Angels players are playing with the new interaction. However, they are playing with some different detachments now, which is a little bit fun. This one's rocking Liberator Assault Group instead of Rage Cursed. It is a Chaplain and double Captain. Jump Pack Captain. One of them is Gift of Foresight. Plus Lamarty's coming up with Lieutenant. We have 2 Death Company Jump Pack units, one with 5, one with 10, to attach the Chaplain and Lamarty's respectively. Lamarty's probably to the 10 to make the extra the damage reduction go farther. Plus we have 2 Ballistic Dreadnoughts because they don't need Oath of Moments. They will just get rerolls to hit. An Inceptor squad, triple Sanguinary Guard, double Scout squads, pretty standard stuff. But it's nice to see a little bit of flexibility inside the faction here, because it has been kind of it's been a wasteland of only Rage Cursed Onslaught for a really long time. So it's cool to see Blood Angels like branching out a little bit. What's my take on RCO versus Liberator for competitive teams? I think RCO is probably stronger in a teams format simply because it's more of a skew. So like you can present your opponent with either just this like mass front line of like fight on death dudes, or just like all these little jump pack infantry squads they're gonna run around. And I think there's some factions you just fold to the Death Watch or the Death Company jump pack units because they're really hardy, right? They're tough to kill, and they have fight on death, so they're not necessarily that easy to counterattack. So if you play melee but you're slower than Death Company, things are going to go really bad for you because they're going to hit you, and you're going to hit them back, and they're going to hit you on your turn again, which feels pretty bad. Plus, they could just like pummel if they get good terrain too. Like they could just pummel people if they have really, really tough layouts. Whereas Liberator, I think, tends to play a little bit more of a standard game plan, which probably makes it more flexible, but less skewy for the team format. That would be my opinion, though. Although, obviously, it could, it depends on your team. It depends on what you're good at. I don't think that there's like massive, huge differences between Liberator and Rage Curse. They do a lot of the same things. I think Rage Curse is just a little bit hardier because it focuses on those Deathwatch units. It's a good question, though. That's an interesting thought experiment. And even while we're still on the subject, there's another Liberator list at 4-1 at this event. Samuel Godding over here running Speed of the Primarch Captain, plus a Jump Pack Chaplain, plus the Marneus, plus Combi Lieutenant. This is very similar. Double Assault Intercessors, 15 guys. It's one big brick of Sanguinary Guard for the captain to hop into. And then that guy has the Speed of the Primarch. So he's got the once per game fight first. So the big Sanguinary Guard brick can basically do the same thing, right? It's a very similar interaction where you get in, you advance and charge, you hit something and you murder it, and then your opponent charges you back, and then you fight first and kill them. So if they don't have the shooting to kill 6 Sanguinary Guard and a captain, which a lot of times they don't, then they'll have to charge you to kill you. Because even like 2 Sanguinary Guard plus a character is like actually pretty lethal into a lot of stuff. You'll kill 5-10 models really easily every turn. So you have to kill them, but they have to fight you the fight first in order to do that. Plus they're also like a really good heroic intervention sort of unit. We have double scout squad, 10 Vanguard veterans. Whoa, with Inferno pistols. That's fascinating. I guess, is it 2? It's 2 Death Company squads. So I would be interested to know. I doubt that the captain's jumping in with the Vanguard, although it's pretty good. He makes him strength 8 on the charge when he combines with the lag detachment ability. You could also maybe attach the chaplain, but then you don't have an attachment for the second Death Company unit. Because plus 1 at Wound is also pretty good on them too. That's fascinating. A 10-man Vanguard veteran squad. Also, it's just 200 points, and you can just throw it into stuff. Like 9 Inferno pistols, you just rapid ingress, walk up, shoot something, charge it, and it's, I don't know, you're probably gonna do a ton of damage. You can even advance, shoot, and charge if you want to battle shock them, which is unlikely, but in some cases could get some work out of that. LGS is doing a 1,000 point tournament to include some newer players. You are getting peer pressure to play a Harridan. Do I think it is even doable? I would not. If the idea is to give an experience for new players, I would not play a Harridan. Not because I think it's particularly good. Actually, it might be good. I don't know. I think there's some armies that simply can't kill it, and it will alpha strike them, and they will lose immediately. Because it is like, it's like 2/3 of your army. You get like a character and like 2 units to score objectives. But I think there are some armies that will, because the Harridan's good at spot removing individual pieces, and it doesn't have to start on the table. I think there's probably some cases where you're one player's like, I have this one big unit that's gonna kill your Harridan, and then he just comes out of reserve and instantly kills it. It's also because it's like a non-standard game. I think it's prone to be a negative play experience that doesn't teach people anything. You're like, there's this giant, uninteractable sky dragon that's killing me. I can't do anything about it. And it's not even on the objectives. Like, what do I do? I think you play like, I don't know, you play like a silly, you do some silly stuff, but you play a relatively standard game. And then you like actually give people experience. If the idea is that it's a new player, if it's a new player event, I would not take insane skews into a new player event, I think. But that's just me, chat. Now, the list I really want to talk about from this event in particular is X and 1 Delve Assault Shift. Play 10 primes with Lash Whips. They're too strong. They're so good. They deserve to cost 85 points, as much as a copy weapon lieutenant. For 4 3 damage attacks. Look out. We have a very, very aggressive Delve Assault Shift build from Daniel Lipscomb here, who went forward 1. Running Buri and Uthar. No enhancements. No non-epic hero characters. Delvework Navigator. Who fucking needs it, dude? That sounds like it's confusing, and I don't like it. I will simply charge you with my Chthonian Berserks, and you will not kill them, so I will not need to respawn them. That blows my fucking mind, but that's pretty cool. For those who don't know, Delvework Navigator is the enhancement where you can regenerate your Chthonian Berserks at the cost of yield points. The nice thing there is that you can ensure that you stay in hostile acquisition for as long as possible, and you can bring Chthonian Berserks back to extend their threat range. We just didn't play that, though. We're like, fuck it, we ball. We're just gonna play it like it lies. No, no regenerating Chthonians, which is wild. Uthar, extremely good at this attachment, though, because you do tend to have a lot of command point spends. You have Weaverwork Buttress as long as you are in hostile acquisition. It's one of the big payoffs. Gives you -1 to be wounded in the shooting phase for any infantry, including things like Iron Conceal Jacks, which is huge. And then you have Cyberstim Infusion, which gives you this is Wound Drills. Augmented Assault, I think. Yeah, where you can add up to 2 to your movement characteristic and advance and charge. So you can push Chthonian Berserks up to move 8 plus advance and charge, so their threat range is actually incredible. They go 11 inches from a transport, and then plus 3d6 is their threat range. So it's probably 18 inches from their transports. And that's not even including the fact that they do just deep strike. So I think he's kind of necessary in this detachment. We are bringing just a ton of Chthonian Berserk units, though. 30 standard Chthonians plus 2 5-mans, 30 units of 30 units of 10. Looks like 2 concussion ball units, 1 plasma axe unit for more infantry killing. 1 of each in the 5-mans. Hearthkin Warrior Squad with the Sagittor. Nice thing about that is that you can use the Sagittor to split the Hearthkin Warrior Squad. So you can obsec your home objective with 5, and then just use the other one to disembark and then run into the middle to do something. And then you can put a 5-man of Chthonians into it to deliver it later, which is neat. Hackett's Land Fortresses ×2 to deliver Chthonian Berserks plus a Hernkin Pioneer unit. Double Hernkin Jaeger unit. Okay. I think that's helpful for screening or preventing other forward operators from screening you. So you get a 5-man because you have 1 Capricus Carrier to split one of the 10s into a 5, but then you do have a 10-man, so you can just lay it across your opponent's front line if you get deployment drop first and prevent them from infiltrating. So then it's more difficult for them to get in a position to stop your Chthonian Berserks from appearing and charging. So this list is just like all aggro all the time. We're not doing any fancy combos. We're just putting shit on the line and then hoping for the best, which I don't know. It's a list after my own heart. Pretty funny. Use augmented assault more than any other strat in Delve. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it's for, right? Like, the downside of Chthonian Berserks is that they do tend to be kind of slow, but the upside is that this detachment makes them actually really fast, whether that's rapid ingressing after deep strike or advancing and charging out of a transport. They're just hyper quick. They're super predators. Even when you think you're safe from the Chthonian Berserk, there's a naked dwarf man behind you with a power fist, ready to get to work. Get to delve work. He's going to delve greedily and deep. And it's going to be bad. So those are the lists from The Warp. I love the name of this event, by the way. Is it like, oh, The Warp is the name of your store? No. It's just The Warp. Fair enough. I get it. However, that wasn't the largest event of the weekend. We also had the Iberian Crypta de los Heros, which I love. That's a good name. That's solid. This is from Spain, España. 42 players. This one ended up being won by Emperor's Children. A very cool Emperor's Children build, by the way. An Emperor's Children build after my own heart. It ran Fulgrim and Mauler Fiends and Peerless Blades. Man, it's actually really sick. So I can talk about it in my video this morning. However, look at these other results. Now, Necron's still showing up. Deathwatch actually doing incredible. Deathwatch coming out of the woodwork in a big way. We'll see if that sticks around. I imagine that it will. I think Deathwatch are very strong right now. But it looks like they're doing pretty well. However, we also see some Orks doing well here. Hector Sola Arroyo with a War Horde. Speaking of Orks, we'll talk about the new Orc stuff at the end of the episode, I think. Because that's kind of fun. But Orcs get a bunch of new releases, which is cool. We got a Beast Boss, Pain Boy, Gaskell Thraka. The Pain Boy is Follow Me Lad, so instead of running it on the Tractor guy, the Tractor Beam Cannon Mech, we are rocking it on the Pain Boy. So he makes the unit harder to kill. He can respawn models back in, but he then will also provide that extra movement characteristic while he's leading, which you can dual attach with Gaskell, because he's a war boss, so we can have all the boys get move 8, including Gaskell, plus the advance and charge. The one thing you miss here is the extra reroll on the advance roll, which is what the Big Mech gives you. However, you can kind of ape that because the Pain Boy can use his once per game if your opponent has shot you at all. So you can strategically play your boys a little more aggressively than you would normally. Oh, you could get a little line of sight here. You want to shoot that guy? You want to shoot that guy right there? You could get a line of sight with like one intercessor unit. You want to shoot me a couple times? That would be pretty cool. I do have a Feel No Pain. And if you kill me, I will place D3 models in front of myself to increase my threat range by 3. Do not worry about that, though. It will be fine. Just shoot me. Just shoot me with your one gun that I gave you line of sight to. And then if your opponent does that, then suddenly your threat range is actually dramatically amplified. So it's easier to slingshot Gaskell Thraka directly into melee. Kind of a sneaky play, chat. If it ends up working out. We do have a Beast Boss, plus a War Boss, plus a Mega Armor War Boss. Beast Snagga Boys for the Beast Boss to hop into. It's mostly just a delivery system for his devastating wounds. I almost wrote Breast Boss. That's my nickname. So he gets devastating wounds, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4. Well, on a Wog turn, he's attacking potentially up to 7 times. It's with sustained hits and critical 5s. Although you're probably criticaling on or I guess, yeah, you're probably criticaling on Gaskell's unit, to be fair, but not too bad anyway. So he can kick the shit out of some people. My cats are fighting, by the way, chat. I don't know why they do this. They just have, every time I'm on stream, they just yell at each other. It's all Lilac's fault. She's little and she bullies Inky, who's the bigger one, which is very sad. Please get rid of the while leading unit restriction. Yeah, I hope they do. All of the most recent characters have been lacking that clause, which has been good because I think it just makes the game cleaner. I remember very distinctly, I won't name any names, when the game came out, and at the WTC, there was a game on stream where a very high-profile player misplayed the leadership roles so insanely. Like, it's such an absolutely insane way, partially because the leadership while leading unit clause is like kind of hard to parse. You're like, all right, so while they're in the unit, they get this thing. So if they leave the unit, they lose it. Like, yeah, but also it's like it triggers at the end of an activation. So there's like, it's like a persistent effect until like your attack sequence is done. And then that also means that in some cases, like you could advance and then lose a unit. But if the leadership ability give you advance and charge, you can charge. That happens a lot with like Jane Czar, for example. And it's just like kind of a mess. It just sort of sucks as a mechanic. But like new armor of Antilochus, Calgar, as well as the new Tyranid Prime. Also, Barrack Stormbrow. None of those have leadership abilities. They all have this unit abilities. And I hope that there is just a blanket errata. Anything that says while leading a unit is just replaced with this unit. would be so amazing. Oh man, just remove the while leading part and just give it to things. The alpha cat, yeah. Our current theory is that Lilac, the little cat, gets bored. And so she just like antagonizes Inky, the big cat, because she's bored. So we keep buying her toys and stuff, but she's like so high energy. She's very high strung all the time. She's a cutie pie. But she just does like, she just walks like this whole circuit of the house like constantly. I don't know. Sad. Well, I think what we might do is get her like one of those cat wheels where you can run on it. See how that goes.
Adriong 6931 donated $2 through Super Chat.
The Flesh Shaper?
Flesh Shaper ability contradicts itself.
Does it? While leading unit, models in that unit have the field up in 6 possibility. If that unit destroys one more models in the fight phase until the end of the battle, models in that unit have the field up pane. 5 up instead. I don't think necessarily. The instead basically implies that while they have the feel no pain 6, they have feel no pain. They replace it with feel no pain 5. So if you ever lose the Flesh Shaper, or he deattaches, then you would lose the 5 as well, right? Anyway, chat. Let's talk about Orks, because that's what we're doing right now. We're in the middle of it. We do have a battle wagon, a Breakaboy squad. Do we have a war boss for the Breakaboys, or are we just vibing with them? We do. We have a war boss for the Breakaboys. Good job, guys. Double flash kits, in addition to double Gretchen. A kill rig, very cool, to carry around the Beast Naga Boy set in. Whatever happened to kill rigs, by the way? I know Stephen Pampreen plays basically just kill rig orcs, but it was for a while that you would always see 1 to 2 kill rigs in every list. And at 155 points, if we look at their top line profile for 155, it's wild, dude. It's crazy. When you're like, all right, I mean, I'm considering, and 155 points is like, a phone call out of nowhere. 155 points is like a pretty recent. It's pretty reasonable points value for this thing. It's the cost of a Ballistic Dreadnought. For the thing has 16 wounds, toughness 10. You're coming in with an auto hitting laser cannon. It's a very good ranged attack. It's good on Overwatch sometimes too, randomly. And then it's also a transport and also buffs your strength. And hits really hard at melee. And it's I don't know. I guess they're difficult to maneuver around is the issue. Like the unit is physically enormous. So it is monster keyworded, so it's difficult to like get around the table. I understand that. But it does feel like for their points value, these things are really, really crazy good. But that said, we don't see them that much, which is interesting. And then Commandos, a Luda squad, interesting. Plus Mega Nobs and Storm Boys. I don't really know what the Ludas are doing, but we're just like hanging out, I guess. We do have a Mega Armor War Boss. I don't know what he's attaching into. I guess he's just by himself. Interesting. The Mega Armor War Boss doesn't join like Lu does randomly, right? No, he can only attach to Mega Knobs. Oh, there's a Mega Knobs unit. Oh my god, chat, I'm so blind. Fuck me. It's just 2 lines. Yeah, okay. So there's a Mega Knobs unit that we could deliver with a truck or something. Seems pretty reasonable. Is it on a night base? It is on a night base. Yeah, it's fucking enormous. They are very, very large. But it's also funny because you look at them and it's such this dominating model. It's 16 wounds with a feel no pain. And you're like, oh, what a big guy. But these 155 points, right? You get 3 of them for the cost of 1 night, which is kind of wild. For a unit that attacks a bunch of times. I don't know. I think we should return to kill rig times. They should come back. Bring back the kill rig. That's what I always say. That's been my mantra since at least this morning, I think. All right. I think there's some other interesting builds we can talk about in this detachment. Chat. We have an interesting one today from Iberian Crypta de los Heros. This is from Pepe Andrew, who is running, oh boy, it's literally everyone's favorite build to a 4-1 record, Recon Element. I'm interested what his, oh my God, what a meme. He did drop 10 points at the beginning. I almost wonder if that was adjudicated to hit exactly 90. It'd be like 8 a list change penalty or something to score 90 instead of 100. And then he scored 69 points and lost, and then scored all hundreds. Oh no, that's the Orc player. Excuse me. No. Pepe Andrew actually, no. Oh Jesus, the Orc player fucking killed people. Holy shit. That's an incredible set of scores. Astra Militarum was a little bit more consistent. Which is interesting because Recon Element tends to be extremely consistent in scoring. It just wins on points. Just the most efficient VP mining system ever devised. In this case, running double Castellan, double Cadian Command Squad, triple Cadian Command Squad, 1 Commissar, Gaunt's Ghosts, 2 Ogren Bodyguards. Interesting. And Ursula Creed. I guess we're just attaching into the command units to just be like, I don't know, here we are. We got Cadian Shock Troopers times 1, times 2, times 3. Cadian Jungle Fighters times 1. Death Corps of Krieg times 10 mans times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God. So we're at 60 Cadians, right? 60 Cadians, 20 Catechins, and 50 Death Corpsmen. So we have 130 infantry in the base battle line squads alone. Plus 20 Attilan Rough Riders. These guys are just for counter punch. Usually they go to reserve and then they pop out and they just blow people up. We have Death Riders, Core Krieg Combat Engineers times 1, 2, 3. Rowlings, 1 Scout Sentinel. That's mostly to deny bring it down. Because you give up Kolda Horde, unlike a lot of lists, although it's very difficult to actually score it because these units are extremely hard to kill. So you can dodge the combination of bring it down and or the combination of your opponent scoring Kolda Horde and redrawing bring it down by putting a Scout Sentinel in the back. That just like gives you rerolls incidentally, and then when they draw bring it down, they're like, well, I'm behind 140 guardsmen, and there's 1 Scout Sentinel in the back corner that I can't get to, so I guess I go fuck myself. Rather forfeit or rather play against Recon Guard. I think it's really pretty base, to be honest. So for those who haven't seen this attachment in play, it's fucking wild, dude. It gives you +1 to your save characteristic. So you have a permanent benefit of cover, or if you already have cover, you get +1 to your save. So a baseline 5+ infantry squad, like unit Acadians or whatever, is a 5+ infantry. You can take cover to bring them to a 4, and then while they're being affected by an order, because of the command squads, they gain the benefit of cover, which triggers the detachment ability. So they go to 3+ armor, which you're like, oh, okay, they're like a normal armor save now instead of being a 5+. Except they go to a 3+ armor and cover. So it's like a 3+ with AOC basically. Which means there's effectively in most cases a 2+ armor save. So a lot of times, like you shoot them with a melta gun and they can save on a 6. Which is like crazy. You shoot them with an AP3 blast weapon, like a plasma cannon or something. And they save on 5s. So these units are fucking atrocious to kill. They regenerate because they have med packs in the command squads, and then because they have a command squad, they get +1 OC. So they go to OC3. They can duty and honor whenever they want to go to OC4 per model. And because they have an Ogren bodyguard in the unit, they have 27 models. Because they have 5 models from the command squad plus the Castellan plus the Ogren bodyguard, 27. Now, obviously, not all of those are base 2 OC, so a lot of them are only OC1. But even then, it's still 80 to 101 OC characteristic. Fuck me. Holy shit. Not to mention the fact that they can fall back and shoot because they have Castellans, plus they get sustained hits. So all their special weapons are actually doing some kind of like consistently good damage. And then we have a bunch of stratagems in the detachment to make them harder to kill. You have Tanglefoot Grenades, so it's hard to charge them. You get -2 to charge. Start of your opponent's charge phase, non-keyword restricted. Cool. I love that for me. Do I want a 6-inch Deep Strike, a greater demon to charge them and engage them in glorious combat? Well, I can't because it will be an 8-inch charge, so I'll fail. They also have Courageous Diversion, which is -1 to be hit. And then also, or it's the 6+ feel no pain, and then also it makes the entire rest of your army -1 to be hit, assuming that unit is the closest target. So it makes the unit that you're shooting, the unit you're targeting the stratagem with, -1 to be hit, and then if they are closer than anything else in the army, the rest of the army is also -1 to be hit. Crazy. You also have Scouting Outriders, I believe. No, that's an uppy downy. There is a reactive move, a 6-inch reactive move for 1 CP as well. Platoon units can 6-inch reactive move. So these guard units have 100 OC characteristic, 100, a 3-digit number. They have regeneration. They have a 2+ armor save, and they have reactive moves. They're hard to charge, and they have access to feel no pains and hit modifiers. What the fuck? It's not doing an insane amount of damage, but it is the most consistent victory point generator of all time. All you have to do is cast move on your unit, run them at your opponent, and then drop Gaunt's Ghost, give them take cover, and then charge them. And then you engage their whole army, and you take all their objectives, and they score 0, and you score 1,000,000. And that's it. That's all you do. It's very straightforward. Oh my god. It's very slow waterboarding torture. Absolutely. Yeah. And since the stat check was have waiting for your opponent to move 5 knights, you have to wait for 100 dudes to shovel forward. Yeah, I think it's probably a harder stat check than knights too. Because knights, like, they're very limited in their position on the table. So it's like once you kill 2 knights, the other 3 knights have to be in the right spot. Otherwise, you're still in a bad place. And a lot more things kill a knight randomly, right? You could just be like, oh, I'll shoot this las cannon squad at a knight, and I accidentally spike it out, or I half kill it, or whatever. I bracket it. Versus 150 infantry models with a 2+ armor save and all this shit, right? Like regeneration and mass OC and stuff, right? It's like you have to take very specific builds to reliably kill that. And it's like shit with 1 trillion attacks that also ignore cover, like that also can operate while engaged. And like, it's like a narrow band. We found at World Championships that it was, Nemo the Fish is like the pioneer for this build. And he feels that Emperor's Children was like a coin flip matchup, and he hit that at World Championships, and that's why he lost. I'm interested to see why Mr. Pepe lost here. What did he lose to? Oh, the guy who won, who's playing Emperor's Children. Sick! Incredible! Fair enough! That's very funny. Well, there you go. Just play Emperor's Children. You have infractor squads with 1 trillion attacks. They don't care about cover because they're melee attacking you. And you just hope for the best, I guess. And you just hopefully run in, you go sustained hits, and then you tap the whole unit and kill them, I guess is the hope. I don't know, man. It's wild. It's crazy. It's wilder still that it's never been nerfed, because I think it's extremely strong. Like you watch a good player play it, and it's like, holy fuck, this is crazy. But because it's very rare and annoying to play against, it doesn't see a lot of play, so it's not on the radar, which is interesting. I do feel like it's one of those lists where if people actually wanted to pick it up and like get reps with it, the game would degenerate in a bad way. But nobody wants to because it sucks to play. So it is what it is. Also, Noise Marines. Yeah. Ignore cover. 12 shots per Blastmaster brick. They shoot 12 plus 12, 24. 24 ignore cover shots. Pretty good start. Is Recon comparable to Gaunt Spam? It's comparable in that it's the same game plan, but strictly better. Yeah. it's like basically a lot of the same stuff going on, right? Gaunt's like overlaps, stealth plus perma cover plus reactive moves plus regeneration plus like sometimes you like have feel no pains or defensive strats. This does all of that, but also your squads have like 4 melta-guns and 4 plasma guns and 2 grenade launchers in them, and shoot like a million little strength 3 shots. So you're like, first they're twice as fast. They move 9 inches. They're 50% faster. They shoot harder. They don't regenerate as much as Gaunt's do, but it doesn't matter because if they were to collide, they would just kill all the Gaunts. It wouldn't make a difference. And then they would take 0 casualties in return, and they're also double the OC characteristic of the Gaunts. So it is comparable to Gaunt spam in that it is the same thing but better. Oh boy. Yeah, the guard actually does damage. Yeah, also there's Attila and Rough Riders. So sometimes you just like, all right, we got through the guard, boys. We finally made it. And you break through, and it's just the charge of the Rohirrim after that, and it's just a bunch of people with Melta-Lances to kill you, like finish you off. The number of times I've seen where it's like, it looks like knights are going to crest the corner because they don't take much damage from random guard attacks. And then Adel Rough Rider Squad hits one knight and topples it and hits the other knight and topples it. And suddenly the game's over. I was like, oh my God. It looked like we had a chance here. You know, there's like the spoiler Gatling cannons killing everything. And then suddenly all the knights die. And you're like, all right, just kidding. I thought there was a chance. Hope 11th doesn't let you regen onto objectives anymore. Hate the mechanic. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't like regenning in general. I think that you have to treat regeneration effects so carefully in tabletop games, because it's just the feel badsiest mechanic. to go between being alive and and regaining hit points to doing nothing sucks, right? And then it makes like the RNG of individual attacks matter a lot. It's just not a very fun mechanic. I don't like it. I would be interested to see if like they could do something with like regenerating like happening at the end of an attack or something where it works a little bit like more like old reanimation protocols where it's like after you receive casualties once per round, a medic can return a number of those casualties, but it doesn't happen out of phase, which I think would be interesting. And then it makes the unit harder to kill, sort of, but it also doesn't like, I don't know, make you super weird. Or you just do damage blanks like Fabius Bile does. It's funny because they played with a bunch of different like medic mechanics over the course of the edition. And one of them, they were like angling to the point they're like, do we just make it a damage blank where it's just once per round you just don't take damage from an attack because it's healed? Is that what we do? You just heal it? Would be nice, but I don't know. Change the timing to start of movement. You could do that. There were issues. It used to be that Gene Stealer Cult did end of movement regeneration. There were issues with setup timing because you would set up in reinforcement step and then try to regenerate, but you couldn't. That was the issue, I think, there at that point. But I think they had a time specifically so Gene Stealer Cult could not cult icon models back onto objectives. But the weird part was it was like you basically couldn't use it if you started in reserve until they eroded and everything. All right, let's talk about World Eaters. Want to talk about World Eaters, chat? There is a World Eaters at this event, 4-1. David Lozano running a Demon Prince with Helm of Brazen Ire, Karn the Betrayer, a Slaughterbound, and then another one with Favorite Accord. No Berserker Glaive today, and also no Angron, and also no Horsey Boy, no Horse Guy. It should be noted that I believe this used WTC layouts. Just kidding. I have no idea what it used. I just pulled that out of my ass. So I have no idea what terrain it used, because that does change your how hard you value the cavalry models and the big monsters quite a bit. We have 10 Khorne Berserkers with Karn to go into Chaos Rhino. Love that. Plus double Chaos Spawn. Double 8-bound, double Exalted 8-bound. Jesus. Calm down. Plus double Forge Fiend, double Jackals. It's just the army of twos here. 2 8-bound, 2 Exalted 8-bound, 2 Forge Fiend, 2 Jackal, 2 Spawn. 55 burgers, 55 fries. Cool. I imagine that you put the Slaughterbound with the Exalted 8-bound so that they're just really, really super duper hard hitting units. Does a favorite of court? Here's an interesting question, chat. Does it require that you're on the battlefield? I assume it does. So can you like hold the favorite of court guy in reserve? If the bear is on the battlefield, yeah. So I guess that guy would probably just stay there, but the other unit could deep strike in because they are exalted. Which I assume the Slaughterbound can do, right? Yeah, because he gains deep strike and scout. Look at that. Gorgeous. And then we can ramp an ingress into Slaughterbound that hits with 10 attacks at 3 damage each. Let's go. The big punchy guy. Can't afford a 35-point Berserker Glaive in this economy. Yeah. It's funny how, I don't know, it's like +1 attack and damage is not the most exciting. I mean, it's very good, right? That's just one of the better varieties of weapon enhancer that you can see, but you can play it to like other damage stacking weapons, and it's like it's not that good. It's all right. It's like on par with like Thief of Secrets, but I would wager in many cases Thief of Secrets is actually better, and that only costs 25. It's interesting Berserker Glaive costs so much. I think because it used to do D3 when you charge, so it was extra D3 extra attacks and damage. It was like a crazy number, and they nerfed it, and then like they upcharged it and then nerfed it. Feels like we could go to 25 on that upgrade. I don't know. I'm no expert, chat, but that feels like an expensive upgrade. I guess it's because it like force multiplies the extra damage off the Exalted 8-bound unit so hard. Like that dude just like tables the knight by himself, but whatever. He's like a fucking Slaughterbound, bro. Let him do his thing. All right. Those are the lists I want to talk about from this event. However, there are many more events. The other big one that we can discuss was the Triple Cities GT. This one was it surprised me actually a little bit. This is in Binghamton, New York. However, it ran WTC stuff. Oh, it's in the packet, I think. Oh, just got flashbanged for a second there. It ran WTC layouts. We're using WTC and War Master's terrain, and which surprises me. I don't know. That was interesting because this is not usually an area that uses WTC stuff, but it is what it is. You know what? They want to do WTC. They're good to do that. Which is further surprises me that it was won by Tyranids running all monsters because WTC is so toxic to monsters that I don't know. I don't get it, but I don't know. Good job to the Tyranid player that won. I talked about that list in my video this morning, so if you want to go check that out, you can talk about that. But we did see a bunch of different factions do fairly well. Some Tau Empire. I managed. Oh my god. This is the B movie again. It's a B movie. That's a B movie. Copy pasta right there. Should we read the whole thing? You know what? We're just gonna not even bother. Don't do that. That's stupid. That's just disrespectful to your opponent. Your opponent's like, oh, I'm paired against Tau Empire. I wonder what it is. Fucking 2 minutes of scrolling later on their phone, they get to your list. Don't do that. Come on, man. Hey, we got a shout out from Clarence. Just for me. Look at all this. How long is this? Oh, God. Oh, chat. This is the size of my cursor right now. It's so small. Look at that. Bit the whole B movie thing is just to spam to prevent noticing errors in the list. Yeah, I think that is the case also. I think that there may be cases in which you I don't know, like sometimes it's a funny meme, but I also immediately assign malice as soon as someone does that, you know? If you want to do a funny meme in your list, do like an ASCII that takes like 30 lines. You can just scroll over and you're like, oh, look, it's a robot made out of periods and dashes and things. That's kind of fun. Don't put literally hundreds of pages of text into your document. I do wonder if like maybe there's a universe where BCP puts a character limit on these things, so we can do that. How many characters do you need for a 40k list? Honestly, guard lists probably would suffer. Those things have too many weapons in them individually. Maybe in future we'll see standardized weapon profiles, and we won't need to list every single weapon option in out. That would be cool. But it is what it is. Reason that there was a prize for funniest list name. I mean, there is a prize for funny. Like a funniest list name is like a cool thing to do, but your list name being a copy pasta of 25 pages of text is probably not that funny. That's just stupid. Did everybody do it? No. Nice. If I podium, I'll commission my persona as Constantine Valdor. Tom Comstock over here with some Shield Host action with a newly nerfed Custodian Guard. Still running 1 million of them. We have 5 units of 4, 20 Custodian Guard, Castellan's Mark on a Shield Captain, plus a Blade Champion. Caladius Grav Tank plus Custodian Wardens. So we're probably attaching the Champion of the Wardens if I had to hazard a guess. 1 Caladius Grav Tank, 1 Prosecutor unit, double Venetari, plus a Witch Seeker squad and a Calidus Assassin. No vehicles. No Land Raiders to be seen today. I guess there's one vehicle. I don't know. Seems like a list. That's pretty normal Shield Host stuff. It's interesting. It would like everyone freaked out about the Land Raider list, the many Land Raiders and many little Custodian Guards in there, but it seems like there has been in place of that a resurgence of the like regular Shield Hosts since the Custodian Guard buff. Just being like, I can take a bunch of Custodian Guards. Obviously, that buff has been rescinded. They have now increased their points value again. Back to where they were pre-buff, I believe, is where we're at. But having just a bunch of idiots in the middle that hit really super fucking hard, and then also Venetari Custodians running in the back, and they all get 5-up critical, like sustained or lethals. That's really good. This is really obnoxious. There's just a lot of guys there. 4 models is like kind of a weird profile too. Because especially if you have the 1 shield guy, because you aren't particularly susceptible to multi-damage blast, because you don't give up blast unless you have a character attached. And then even if you do, if it's 3 damage blast, you can eat 2 of them on the Presidium shield, and he doesn't die. So like a single blast activation doesn't kill you. It takes multiple, and even then you might not go down, right? You need to get 5 confirmed wounds through, and you're probably wounding on 3s or 4s. At toughness 6. So like they're really annoying to kill. 1 dude can hit like dramatically above his weight class. And then also you have to deal with that while worrying about these multiple rapid ingress threats from the back line. I don't know. It just kind of makes sense. Pretty sweet. Custodians figured it out. They could take multiple Land Raiders work. Yeah, that was kind of my thought about the Land Raiders thing too. People were like, it's broken. Its win rate is insane. I was like, whoa. Land Raiders though. Hear me out. Big tank cool? No. All right. Well, we'll round out our discussion of this event. Overall, excited about this tiered list. Disappointed with the rest of the event. Triple Cities GT, get out of here. You suck. Am I sure I don't want to scroll through the entire B movie? I'm 100% sure. 100% sure. Absolutely. I'm gonna amend my rules, by the way. I think you just get a lifetime ban if you do that in my event. If you're in one of my events and you post the entire B movie, I'm just gonna ban you. I don't want to deal with that shit. That's stupid. Well, you can talk about some Cryptek Conclave. Should we talk about some Cryptek Conclave? That's pretty fun. It's got Deceiver, Amintar, Illuminor, Ceres. So this is the new detachment that doesn't get that much talk about. Pull it up real quick here. So you can get anti-infantry, anti-mounted, assault heavy, ignores cover on your Cryptek units. whenever they go to shoot. There is also the Atomic Disintegrator Enhancement, which gives you Anti-Monster, Anti-Vehicle 5, which is good if you hit T10 plus stuff. We have a Translocation Shroud Overlord with Quantum Abacus to give you command point regen, which is sweet. And then we have a Chronomancer with that enhancement that's usually for Immortals. Yep, there we go. A Royal Warden and a Technomancer. We got 28 Necron Warriors. There is a Micro Scarab Swarm, which can give the Necron Warriors a 5+ invulnerable save. It's not like the best thing ever, because if you have Luminor Ceres, which we do, they're basically a 3+ armor save already. If they're in cover, they're kind of like a sort of 2+ armor save. They're like basically 2 points of AP reduction on top of their 4+. So getting an invuln save is very rarely useful. However, you can also reactively reanimate them, I believe, right? In your opponent's command phase, you can use Potentiality Siphon. What a fucking awesome name for a stratagem. To reanimate if you're in range of an objective marker at +1 if you have a Cryptek, which you probably do. So in this case, we're running Immortals, 20 Warriors, Cryptic Thralls to join with probably the Warrior unit to keep them going. A Flayed One unit, Ophidian Destroyers, 1 Ghost Ark, a Tomb Blade unit with Particle Beamer, so we could give them anti-infantry, or anti-mounted 4, or anti-infantry 3. You can use untapped power. No, excuse me. Is it this one? Synergistic Empowerment? Yeah. You for a command point in your shooting phase, you can have a Cryptek donate the Cryptek keyword to another model. So you can give the Tomb Blade unit the Cryptek keyword and then give them anti-infantry or anti-mounted. So then they trigger devastating wounds on 3+. So when this unit shoots it at like a big tough infantry squad, like we just talked about those, this Recon Guard or the what's the other, like the Custodians and stuff, they shoot blast weapons, 6d6 blast. If you're triggering blast, especially big blast, it's like, it's a million shots. And then they're just 3+ or devastating wounds. So they're probably good for, I don't know, it's like 12, like 10 or 12 devastating wounds in a lot of cases, which is pretty cool. We do have a Tomb Crawler unit, so we probably have attachments for both the Immortals and the Necron Warriors to keep them both topped up. Those are embed squads, +1 Reanimator, +1 Triarch Stalker, so we can get ignore cover. In terms of actual Crypteks, it's the Technomancer, Chronomancer. So we probably Translocation Overlord on the Reaper Warrior unit, because you can advance and shoot them because they're going to get assault. And then we can put the Chronomancer on them so they can fire anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5. Imagine the Technomancer. I guess the Technomancer could also go on the Immortal Squad. But it's probably the Technomancer on the Warriors to get the Feel No Pain, honestly. It's interesting we don't play Orican the Diviner in any of these to get the 4+ armor. But I guess like with the Luminor Ceres, it doesn't feel like that necessary. Or the 4+ invuln, excuse me. The Technomancer is like additional overlaid effects. But the nice thing about the Chronomancer and those big bricks is that they give you the opportunity to like advance, shoot, move again to go to tag objectives. I'd be interested to see whether or not it's the Chronomancer or the Technomancer on either of these units, or maybe they switch back and forth. So to either be more defensive or quicker. But then the Atomic Disintegrator is good, I think, on either of these weapons. It's either a million Gauss Reaper shots or the more high efficiency blaster shots that you can shoot into bigger targets and blow people up with anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5, which is cool. Forgot to mention the most important strat in Invasion Fleet commandery role. Most important strat in all of Tyranids, chance. All right. Well, Triple City GT, I appreciate you, but you were disappointing. I think of those, there was basically, I think we went through all of the events that used the new update. Basically, the only one we haven't is Pacific Northwest, but they had a lot of sort of overlapping results to the stuff we already talked about. There's a lot of World Eaters and Militarum and stuff. So I don't know if it is too different, unless there's any like weird lists that are way out of the blue. Not really. So anyway, chat, I think that it's a good wrap up of our thing here, of our discussion. We can talk about the Warhammer community stuff. Did I see the thing on Warcom today? I did. We can talk about that real quick before we hop off. So yeah, we go down through the stuff that happened this weekend, where someone accidentally received a box of Orc Warboss, which was different than the one that's available on Warhammer Community. You may have seen a grainy potato can picture of a new Warboss box. Oopsies. That is a new release. Here he is. We have scrambled to release our press article about it. I think this is cool. I like this guy. I think they talk about it here. He comes as a multi-part plastic kit. All the classic options are represented. I think that they talked about that. He's one of the only times we've seen a multi-option orc character kit, which is fucking wild. Like Space Marines back in the day had the Space Marine Captain kit, which just gave you a trillion options. It was awesome. It was one of the coolest kits ever. It was just like one character model, and you just had a million different like guns and heads and backpacks and stuff you could attach to them. I love those kits. So anything like this, where it's a billion different parts, my favorite thing. I think this one looks good. I don't like that his pose is very static. It's like a very classic pose. But he's got different heads. He's got different backpacks. He could put a squig on. He could have a little squig with him. He's got different weapons, different guns, or different melee weapons. I like it. I think it's neat. He's also got this little grot guy who's just the angriest looking little grot of all time. It's cool. Pretty happy, chat. I like that one. Yeah, I saw the teaser. We'll talk about the teaser ones in a second. Wish you had a Primaris Captain kit that has a billion options, like the old Firstborn one. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at the see if I can find the Space Marine Captain box set. I think that is long discontinued now. Can I find it? Can I find it? All the new Space Marine Captains are the Primaris ones that are like a million different, that are just like single pose. And the Space Marine Captain kits are like honestly not that exciting, to be honest. They're not my favorite things in the whole wide world. They're fine, I guess, but they're kind of what they are on the tin. I think to some extent we suffer from like Space Marine Captain burnout a little bit, where it's like, oh, cool, another Space Marine holding a sword in a heroic way. Okay. Oh, this is unrelated, but this is a cool kit too. The company command squad kit. What a goated old kit. Was it the no? I don't know if I can find it anymore. This wasn't the one, I don't think, because the Captain kit had like a different pose, and I think this is a repack because I believe that the company command squad was a different box, and then you could get like they were two separate kits, and then I think they amalgamated them and they gave you like one Captain pose. That's a cool Captain pose though. I'm coming up. I'm drawing blanks here, chat. I'm not gonna spend more time on this. I think. One more search. No, it's all modern stuff. All right, that's fine. But anyway, there was an old kit that was really cool where they had a million different parts inside a box, and it was really, really sick. They did a very similar thing for Chaos Lords, which I have one of those for my Terminator Sorcerer for 1,000 Suns. where it was just like, it was a Terminator guy, and you got a Terminator guy, and then you got a bunch of different heads and fucking arms and guns and stuff. It wasn't quite as impressive or big as the Space Marine one, but it was a similar deal. I liked it. We've got they then sort of previewed new Ork stuff, which included these little preview pictures. These look like it's gonna be one kit, I think. Because the Grot is like working on a red and silver device, and it looks like the red and silver device is probably on a Mega Armor guy. So I bet it's like some sort of like either like Epic Hero or like a Mega Armor character. That, if I had to hazard a guess, that's what I would say. Or maybe it's like a Walker or something. We talked in that ChatGPT video about new Killicans, like reworking the Killican data sheets. I think would be cool. Like a new Walker something, or a big guy that's like pushed in any way. I think would be kind of neat. I don't know. Obviously, not much to work on here, but I imagine this is just one kit. I don't think it's going to be multiple different things. There. New Mega Knobs. Oh, maybe new Mega Knobs. That would be cool. I would like that. Leaks are just marketing for GW. I don't care about leaks as long as rules text doesn't get leaked. Yeah, I don't. Probably not. I think they would prefer that releases release like on their normal marketing time frame, so they can like hype them up appropriately. But like it'll just happen in an operation as large as Games Workshop. There's no way they can retain control of everything. You know, when you have to go through this huge logistics chain, someone's gonna drop the ball somewhere by accident. You know what's interesting about this, chats, is I don't see any print lines on these pieces, which is always... Oh, I do. Just kidding. There's some right here. It's always funny because I do enjoy spying out where GW uses rapid prototyping for their models. And sometimes it's really hard to see these days. They become very good at it. There's one spot where they take really high-res photography, and it's like camera technology has like outpaced their ability to hide it in some cases. So they take really high res product photos, and then you can see it's like clearly a 3D print. One of my favorite things ever. I love it. Not that it really means anything. Obviously, rapid prototyping is very handy, especially to get these models painted and product photography done while you're still working on the actual production pipeline, which is cool. A Mega Knob kill team. Does kill team go into like Terminator bodied stuff? Is that traditional for kill team? I don't know. I guess like, I mean, Raveners have a kill team. Those are kind of close. But usually it's like light stuff, right? I know that there was an issue at one point where like Custodes were just like super duper disgusting because they just had more actions than everyone else. Pretty wild. All right. The other thing is that I think there was some new discussion about new campaign book stuff. They talked about an Iron Hands combat, or Iron Warriors, combat patrol, which is like Iron Warrior, which is like Chaos Space Marines plus the Iron Warriors upgrade set. So not that exciting. This is all stuff that I think has already been released beyond it having the new upgrade sprues. New Sons, new detachment in Eye of Terror, Sons of Dorn. The Cerebite Sentinels detachment. That's a good name for it. I like that. It's all about playing a defensive game. Something much easier to do with a few big hunks of armor in the middle of the table. That's what we need, chat. A Repulsor Executioner detachment. Guys, you know what hasn't been played in a while? Repulsor Executioners. We should make Repulsor Executioners good, so people can finally play them. That's cool, though. I guess, like, an Ironstorm Spearhead that makes, you know, does Ironstorm Spearhead stuff would be kind of neat. You also get transfer sheets, okay? It's... Yeah, I guess it's weird that the detachment is like, Sons of Dorn. It's for Imperial Fists and Black Templars, but like it's just tanks. I don't know. You can just play them. And it talks about how you get the transfer sheets for these factions in there, but it seems like the detachment is just a generic detachment. So I don't really know what the overlap here is. Or you can paint them however you like. Thanks, James. Thanks, James Workshop. Thanks for telling me how I can paint my miniatures. I appreciate that. Adeptus Mechanicus, Eye of Terror. Does it talk about new detachments and stuff? No. Cool. Need to do thing for Imperial Knights. Doesn't have the Destriers in it, though, which is a little bit sad. That would be a cool place to drop in the Destriers. New bunk sets will be going up alongside the Eye of Terror book and its associated kits, so keep an eye. Okay, we will. Thank you. Well, there you go, chat. There's news. News and releases. Betting on enhancement that makes a Dread a character like Custodes. I think that would be cool. I think it would be cool if Dreadnoughts could take enhancements. It feels like that. I feel like I would like to see Dreadnoughts as like more of a mutable resource, like a mutable character equivalent than they are right now. Because right now it's just like, I'm a Dreadnought and I fulfill a role. And you're like, all right, I mean, I guess that's fine. But like the idea is that they're these venerable ancients who like half the reason you keep them around is because they have all this experience and like leadership ability. And the only way that gets depicted on the table is in the box Dreadnoughts, because the regular Dreadnought gives you like reroll ones and an aura, and the venerable Space Wolf Dreadnought gives you like +1 to charge in an aura. So it would be cool if they had like, they were like demon princes, where when you buy them, you choose like an ability, and maybe the abilities are exclusive. So there's like 5 of them, and the more Dreadnoughts you have, the more different ones you bring. I think that'd be kind of cool. But I'm not a game designer, chat. At least not for 40k, so I don't know. An enhancement to make a character repulsor executioner. Bring back Sergeant Kronos. Justice for Kronos. So we can have the character Predator Annihilator back in the day. All right, chat. I think that is going to be it for me today. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me. I think this is a pretty exciting thing. Except the Demon Prince picking an ability just means the base data sheet ends up being ass. I mean, it depends on the Demon Prince, I think. I was considering playing them in Demons just today. I was like, maybe I play a foot Demon Prince. That'd be cool. And like a defensive skew. I think it'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. Cronus and Talion. Talion back would be hype. That'd be cool as hell. Although the downside is that they're all Ultramarine characters. Bring them back, but put them in different chapters. Bring Kronos back, but he's in Iron Hand, and Talion back, but he's a Raven Guard. So they fit their thematically appropriate chapters, right? Am I crazy? I feel like that's just how things should be. All right. Base Chaos Space Marine Prince, we're gonna say? Yeah, I don't care about Chaos Space Marines. Get out of here. Play Demons. Play Demons of Chaos, like a real, true convert to the Ruinous Powers. I'm going to be live tomorrow. We're going to talk about some of these super major results and these bigger events that happened this weekend. Obviously, the events we talked about today were a little bit on the smaller side. I will be live after this with some gameplay over on Twitch. I feel like I should probably play a game before I leave for Ides of March next week. Here's my Twitch. Please come hang out with me over there. So I'll see you there. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me. As always, keep it classy, folks. Have happy wargaming, all that stuff, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.